This is Part 2, Episode 202. Ice Hell, inside Sky Wolf's palace. Sky Wolf stared at its female servant anxiously, brimming with hope, as the servant tested the virtual universe. "I've been detained here for an infinite amount of time," roared Sky Wolf. "This will decide whether I can get out or now." Sky Wolf was suddenly aggressive, a rare glimpse of his true nature. It has to connect. It has to. Time was passing by while Sky Wolf felt like he had been through centuries. The servant opened her eyes. "Is it done?" Sky Wolf grumbled. "Yes, master," the servant answered respectfully. "Someone just responded." Someone responded. Sky Wolf trembled and felt its blood heating up. He had never been so thrilled after being detained here. "Awesome. Awesome." Sky Wolf howled. The sound spread out from the palace. "Sky Wolf," Luo Feng said. "Ha ha. Human, you are a man of your word," Sky Wolf said, looking down at Luo Feng. The response was a confirmation of receipt of the message, which would be forwarded to Sky Wolf's teacher. How could he not be exhilarated to know he was about to get out? Sky Wolf had been as steady as an iceberg before, whereas now, he was as aroused as a volcano about to burst. "Then I'll walk myself out," Luo Feng said, smiling. "Ha ha." Sky Wolf burst into laughter. "Be my guest." The door opened, rumbling. Luo Feng glanced at the door, opened his wings and flew away. "Congratulations, master," the servant said as they started to celebrate. Sky Wolf, however, said, "No need to elaborate. Although the Purple Knight can't keep an eye on everything that happens in Ice Hell, we'll be in trouble if he finds out. Be constantly on alert until we actually get out. We'll just wait here, and we'll get out in a day or two." Sky Wolf looked up at the boundless ice world outside. "Human, I'll let you keep the token for a while to avoid any trouble. I'll get it back and dedicate it to my race after the Supreme Being arrives." Thinking of this, Sky Wolf couldn't help but laugh. Under his delicate manipulation, the sound only echoed inside the palace. After Luo Feng left the palace, Jihong Emperor appeared beside him and teleported himself. Deep in the snow of Eastern Ice Hell, inside Luo Feng's habitation, Luo Feng was overjoyed. "I've acquired the Beast God Inheritance Token," Luo Feng said. "I didn't expect Ancestral God School to be so powerful and to own all the 8 Beast Gods." Oh, right. There were different sculptures of Beast Gods on the golden pool of Seven-Blade Emperor. Suddenly, the scene entered his mind of the birth of the Sealed Star, and how Life-Falling Emperor had launched a sneak attack against Seven-Blade Emperor. It had been during the attack that Seven-Blade Emperor had pulled out a special golden pool. That might have something to do with Ancestral God School, thought Luo Feng. It seems that Seven-Blade Emperor also got the special inheritance. Luo Feng was filled with suspense. "I'll go to the land of inheritance and see how it is." Sky Wolf. "I'll need to thank you, this time." Luo Feng looked up and smiled. "I'm waiting for the Supreme Being of your race. Let's see whether it will be my teacher Primal Chaos City Leader's rival." The demon race did set up lots of intelligence networks in the virtual universe of the humans. However, ordinary Undying were not allowed to access it, and even Emperor-level Undying were not allowed unless under special circumstances, as using the network was extremely dangerous. Although there was a plethora of delicate methods to conceal their identities, supervision was everything in the virtual universe. Thus, even a tiny shred of a clue might expose the entire network, which was costly. Cybo WA is still alive. Inside the territory of the demon race was a prosperous planet where lots of young demon races were living. However, on the planet lived a powerful universe knight. Cybo WA became my third student, when I had just been made a universe knight, he said. I haven't heard from him for God knows how long. I can't believe he's still alive. A merely 2-meter-long sky wolf with blue feathers was joyful inside a peaceful palace. And there's more. It became an invincible emperor, without any resources or help in Ice Hell. Ha ha. I expected Cybo WA to become a universe knight before, and I was right all the time. If it could have stayed in the clan, and had been provided with the proper resources, he could have become a universe knight long ago. The seemingly ordinary sky wolf was walking around. Teacher, did you decide to come out? A 10-kilometer-long sky wolf appeared and shrunk to 2 meters. The emperor-level sky wolf was another student of the universe knight, and it was the owner of the planet. I still have some things to deal with. The blue sky wolf howled and vanished. I'll come back in a few days. Yes, teacher. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Deep inside the territory of the demon race floated a palace among the stars. It was surrounded by blazing fires of rainbow color. Each ball of flame was as large as a star. The scene could not be seen unless one was within close proximity of the palace's location. Apparently, the space and time around the palace were both twisted and independent of the outside universe. The palace had the shape of a ball of flame, and it was silent inside. On the enormous square in front of the palace appeared a blurry figure, which condensed into a 10-kilometer-long blue sky wolf. Leader, the universe knight groveled on the ground and greeted. The eye-shaped sculpture on the palace blinked and a rumbling voice came out, "What's the matter?" Leader, the sky wolf said with veneration. I just received news of my student, one who became my student when I was first made a universe knight. I valued it the most until it disappeared a short while after becoming my student. His name is Cybo WA. The rumbling voice continued. I know of him. His name was on the list of Turning Back Time Rescue. I tried to do that and save it, but I failed. I thought it was mentally controlled by some other powerful ones. Although Cybo WA had not been as powerful when it went missing as it was now, it had been qualified to be resurrected due to its potential. Unfortunately, it couldn't be successfully revived and was thus forgotten. I received its message, the sky wolf said. It was in Ice Hell of the Black Flower secret region, and it has been detained there for an eternity. Ice Hell of the Purple Knight and Blue Knight. Yes, leader. The sky wolf continued, it became an invincible emperor without any resources or instructions. An invincible emperor. The sound was mixed with surprise. I wouldn't dare lie, the sky wolf answered. Leader, I want to go and rescue my student. However, I'm not sure whether I'm powerful enough to do that with the Purple Knight and the Blue Knight guarding Ice Hell, especially with the Purple Knight present, who was one of the deified generals of Ancestral God School. That's why I want to ask Sky Flower Knight to help. But I'm afraid that he won't be willing to do so. Hence, I came here to notify you first. Sky Flower Knight was the second most powerful creature of the Sky Wolf clan. Although he was only a limit universe knight, he was as powerful as an ordinary universe master. He was definitely an overlord of the universe. And the most powerful one was the master of Sky Wolf, who was the owner of this palace. If Sky Flower is willing to show up, together with the deterrence of our race, the 2 knights in Ice Hell won't dare reject us, the Sky Wolf said. Sky Flower is in a dangerous place, and I can't reach him, spoke the rumbling sound. Even I have no idea when he will come back to the original universe. Now that it is an invincible emperor, I'll go myself. Leader, you'll go by yourself, the Sky Wolf said with gratefulness. Cybo WA will be filled with honor and gratitude if it knows. I haven't seen the Purple Knight for a long time. All of a sudden, the balls of flames flew toward the palace, shrinking to small tongues of flames that merged into sculptures of flames within the palace, making the aura in the palace all the more vigorous. "This is one of the invaluable," the Sky Wolf said as he admired what he had just seen. This palace was one of the invaluable possessed by the Sky Wolf clan. The Master of Sky Wolf had obtained it when the universe first came into being. "I'll go now." The entire palace vanished. Only the blue Sky Wolf was still floating among the stars, and he couldn't have been more joyful. "Cybo Wa," he said, "will be safely brought back." Inside the Ice Hell Star Band of the Black Flower secret region, a towering palace surrounded by flames appeared out of nowhere, and the second it appeared, it became the core of the entirety Ice Hell, exerting an aggressive and mighty force on it. All the Undying playing in the Ice Hell Star Band instantly began shivering out of fright. What's the point of scaring them as Master of Sky Wolf? A trace of purple light, and then blue light flew to the floating palace. "They ought to grovel upon my arrival." The rumbling sound came out of the palace, and a figure covered with fire walked out. The figure looked like the manifestation of law of the universe. Tongues of flame surrounded him, and the dark Sky Wolf was walking at a slow pace. The space and time around him were in his control completely, and he was the owner of the entire Ice Hell Star Band. Even the Blue Knight and the Purple Knight had to revere him. He was the greatest being of the Sky Wolf clan, Master of Sky Wolf. "There is a Sky Wolf detained in Ice Hell." His voice was rumbling, trembling the entire domain. "Let it out." The Purple Knight and the Blue Knight gave each other a look. There was an immense number of demon race creatures, and they hadn't expected that Master of Sky Wolf would show up for merely an Undying. "Please wait a minute, Master of Sky Wolf," the Blue Knight said and waved his hand. A cylindrical icicle appeared on his palm. Since Master of Sky Wolf arrived, he needed to carry his treasure to greet him. Ice Hell was one of the sealing treasures, which was scarce and precious. Together with the Blue Knight's talents, its tremendous power could be fully utilized. The Blue Knight's mind entered the Ice Hell and locked onto the Sky Wolf, kicking it out easily. "Get out." The white Sky Wolf didn't stand straight until rolling among the stars. After looking around, exhilaration filled its eyes. When it saw the purple and blue figures, and the palace engulfed in fire where stood the forceful black Sky Wolf, it recalled the legend of the Sky Wolf clan. It couldn't believe its eyes. "Leader." Cybo Wa groveled with a thrill. "The legendary leader of Sky Wolf clan. The eternal leader. Purple Knight, how powerful is this Sky Wolf?" The black Sky Wolf looked at the Purple Knight from afar. Although the Purple Knight and Master of Sky Wolf bore some grudges against each other, the Knight had to suppress his hostility. Master of Sky Wolf wasn't just any universe master with invaluable treasures. "Master of Sky Wolf," said the Purple Knight, "this one is particularly talented, and it is ranked among the top 5 in Ice Hell. If it were equipped with some suitable treasures, it would rival other invincible emperors." "Then why did you detain it, knowing its potential?" Master of Sky Wolf kept grumbling. "It's my Ice Hell that detained it," the Blue Knight said, clearly irritated. Master of Sky Wolf looked to the Blue Knight. Rumble. An invisible force assailed the Blue Knight, whose body bounced away and cracked, after which the pieces were assembled. "Who allowed you to speak?" The voice was muddled with anger. Coldness flashed through his eyes, which terrified the Purple Knight. "Master of Sky Wolf," the Purple Knight screamed. "Relax. Because of you, I won't actually hurt him." Master of Sky Wolf calmed himself down. It was just a small punishment. The Blue Knight flew back to the Purple Knight. He was filled with exasperation, but all he could do was to suppress it. The Purple Knight smiled and said, "Master of Sky Wolf, I've already let your people go. If you want to catch up with me, you can come with me to the Ice Hell Star Band, and I can invite some friends." "I'll pass." Master of Sky Wolf glimpsed at the purple knight, and looked down to Saibo Wa. Saibo Wa said, "Leader, there's a human in Ice Hell, and he has the Beast God token." It didn't dare to tell him that it was the one who had given the human the token, as it was afraid to enrage this supreme being that it had only heard of before. Beast God token. Master of Sky Wolf looked to the purple knight. "Let the human out, and I'll take him with me," Master of Sky Wolf said. It was an excellent deal to get the token with a word, as the tokens were limited resources to erase. Human. The purple knight and the blue knight exchanged eye contact and realized they were in trouble. The purple knight shook his head. "There was no human." "Don't you dare tell me there's not," the voice blasted, trembling its surroundings. The space was twisted like waves. "Of course, you know that there's a human inside." "No, there's not," the purple knight said and kept shaking his head. The two knights didn't have the guts to hand in the human. They had already contacted Mountain Sitting Guest, and confirmed that the human was a student highly valued by him. Everyone knew how mighty Mountain Sitting Guest was. Even Master of Sky Wolf was nothing compared to him. They might manage to survive if they wronged Master of Sky Wolf. However, even the Ancestral God School couldn't protect them if they wronged Mountain Sitting Guest. "There's no human," agreed the Blue Knight, shaking his head, too. "The little one must have misremembered it. There was a human before, but he died a long time ago." Master of Sky Wolf looked at the Purple Knight and the Blue Knight in shock. He could not believe they were unwilling to give him the human. Saibo Wa, standing to the side, was also looking at its leader and waiting for his hint. If he was to give up, it would say the similar thing as the two knights. Otherwise, it would tell a different story. "Interesting," Master of Sky Wolf said. "Who is this human? He doesn't sound like a nobody." Master of Sky Wolf stood in front of the towering palace and overlooked the knights. "Did a supreme being of the human race make a pact with you both, so that you two would rather defy me? If it's something good to humans, I'll surely sabotage it. Give me the human." Master of Sky Wolf glared at them. "Or I'll get him myself." "Leader." They were lying. "I just saw the human." Saibo Wa shouted. "Did you hear me?" Master of Sky Wolf looked down at the knights. "Master of Sky Wolf," the Purple Knight said with fury. "Are you going to fight us because of a human?" "I'll suggest you back off," the Blue Knight said. They were already secretly notifying Mountain Sitting Guest, who had unbelievable skills, to share the news. However, Mountain Sitting Guest only responded, "Give him the human and medal. Don't tell him my relationship with this human." "Give me the human," demanded Master of Sky Wolf. "No matter who's behind him, I won't be afraid. Even if he's the founder of Gigantic Axe." The Purple Knight and the Blue Knight gave each other a look. They were pondering why Mountain Sitting Guest would tell them to stand aside and not expose the relationship. Master of Sky Wolf would certainly go away if he heard the name Mountain Sitting Guest. But what was the point of this if Mountain Sitting Guest said so? "Okay." The Purple Knight nodded. "We'll let him go." Deep in the snow of Eastern Ice Hell, Luo Feng sat in the living room and waiting for the Primal Chaos City leader. Rumble. He suddenly felt the entire ceiling force squeezing him. Space cracked at the front. He was squeezed out without even putting up a fight. Luo Feng opened his wings and floated among the stars. It must be my teacher, Luo Feng thought. But he was startled by what he saw. The Purple Knight and the Blue Knight were standing afar, and on the other side floated a gigantic palace surrounded by flames. The power that emanated from it was colossal, and surpassed that of the sky-swallowing palace, which Luo Feng had seen before. The owner, a black sky wolf, petrified Luo Feng, and next to him stood a subservient white sky wolf. It's the sky wolf of Ice Hell, Luo Feng thought to himself. Human, Saibo Wa said, looking down at Luo Feng smugly. The token was only kept by you temporarily. And now, the token and your life will both be gone. Master of Sky Wolf looked down at Luo Feng. You seem to have a strong background, the master said. Unfortunately, you're dying today, and will not be resurrected. Where is my teacher? He should have arrived a long time ago. Die. Master of Sky Wolf said nonchalantly. All forms of sound went off and spread to all the creatures detained in Ice Hell. Luo Feng and Saibo Wa heard it, too, and so did the two knights and Master of Sky Wolf. Among the Ice Hell star band, a blurry river of sky that was several light years long appeared and covered the entire star band. It looked infinitely long, as if it were opening an entrance to another universe. On the river floated various kinds of treasures, each of whose force permeated the space. It's Thousand Treasure River, cried the Purple Knight, dazed. Thousand Treasure River, the Blue Knight said and looked to Master of Sky Wolf, gloating. Master of Sky Wolf was bewildered. He roared, standing in front of the palace with his hoofs. Primal Chaos City Leader. Why don't you show yourself, since you're here? The fire around him soared with spread everywhere, but it was extinguished by the force from the river. The palace started to oscillate, as if it would topple at any minute. The weak Undying, together with Luo Feng and Saibo Wa, was stunned after seeing this. The Thousand Treasure River was only a reflection of a river that cast a shadow on the stars, which was why it looked blurry. However, Sky Wolf Palace could only barely resist its mighty power. That is the first time I have ever seen Thousand Treasure River, the Blue Knight sighed. It is indeed forceful and unstoppable. According to the legend, Thousand Treasure River is made up of 1,000 invaluable treasures, and if it was dismantled, it would become 1,000 individual invaluable treasures. Dismantle? Who could do that? Said the Purple Knight. The birth of this river is for the treasures to strengthen each other. Each of the treasure has its flaws and is only as powerful as an ordinary top-tier treasure. Only assembling them into the Thousand Treasure River can make the invulnerable treasure that roams the universe. You have never seen how the Primal Chaos City Leader slaughters other creatures. This is only an body of him. His original body is more powerful than this. I've heard of it before, the Blue Knight said as he nodded. Primal Chaos City Leader. One of the bodies sits in the Primal Universe and the other in the original one, taking charge of the Virtual Universe Company. And the strongest original is meant for killing. Luo Feng couldn't hear the conversation between the Blue Knight and the Purple Knight. How powerful my teacher is, muttered Luo Feng. And this is only one of his bodies. Luo Feng looked at the boundless projection of the river and Master of Sky Wolf, who was struggling to control Sky Wolf Palace inside the project. Luo Feng admired his teacher even more. Teacher Mountain Sitting Guest thinks that I can become a universe master and utilize Star Tower in the future, even surpass the Primal Chaos City Leader in the future. Thought Luo Feng, filled with aspiration. The Primal Chaos City Leader could annihilate everything within several square light years, with a snap of his fingers. A gigantic figure that was 10,000 kilometers tall walked on the waves of the river toward him with a huge stone stick. Master of Sky Wolf, said the figure. It is outrageous for you to kill my human student. What is that? Gasped Luo Feng. He was thrilled. This was the first time he had seen the other body of his teacher. It was 6,000 miles tall and silvery white. There were 1,000 antennas on its head, and the eyes looked tranquil. He walked on the waves barefoot, and held a rugged stick. Only a seemingly ordinary shirt was covering the body, whereas the sound of the treasures on the shirt echoed. Each thread of the shirt looked like a running river. Is this a special life? Luo Feng knew that it was a special life, as there were no clans in the human race that looked like this. What's more, it was 6,000 miles tall. If it wasn't originally this tall, enlarging one's size would only make it weaker. This is the primal chaos city leader. Saibo Wa was dazed and had to reluctantly admit that the primal chaos city leader was indeed more forceful than the leader of its clan. Saibo Wa glanced at Luo Feng. He is able to bring the primal chaos city leader here. When the primal chaos city leader walked toward everyone with the rugged stick in his hand and thousand treasure shirt on his body, Master of Sky Wolf did look comparatively inferior. Primal chaos city leader, you think so highly of this human that you come here by yourself, Master of Sky Wolf said. Didn't you come for this little one here? The primal chaos city leader asked, looking at the tiny white sky wolf. There was no comparison between their sizes, but they were at least equally forceful. As for the blue knight and the purple knight, they became the insignificant parts of the conversation, and were overlooked by both the primal chaos city leader and the master. As for Luo Feng and Saibo Wa, they were less than negligible. I didn't come here with a purpose. Master of Sky Wolf suddenly looked to Luo Feng. You, on the other hand, gave this human an invaluable treasure. Luo Feng was startled. An invaluable treasure. He possesses an invaluable treasure. Saibo Wa was stupefied and looked to Luo Feng. What? The purple knight and the blue knight said, also looking toward Luo Feng in shock. This was new information for them. Let me check, Master of Sky Wolf said in a hoarse voice. Blade River Emperor. Interesting. I can't believe a sector lord is able to disguise himself as an undying with the invaluable treasure and garner such a reputation. This student you have is nothing like the fallen Kudi. Let's see which invaluable treasure he possesses. According to the information, Blade River Emperor is incredibly rapid, so I assume this wing is his invaluable treasure. Am I right, Primal Chaos City Leader? The Purple Knight, the Blue Knight, and Saibo Wa were all dumbfounded. Sector Lord. He was only a Sector Lord. He can escape from Silver Eye as merely a Sector Lord. Saibo Wa was bewildered. It must be the invaluable treasure which makes him so powerful. Impressive, indeed, said the Purple Knight. He can be this mighty as only a Sector Lord and earn such fame, said the Blue Knight. No wonder Mountain Sitting Guest values him this much. The Purple Knight and the Blue Knight sighed. They would also definitely aspire to get the invaluable treasure if they had known Luo Feng had one, but they wouldn't have actually had the guts to take it by force. Luo Feng was in shock. He looked at Master of Sky Wolf and thought, Teacher Mountain Sitting Guest is right. I do have 3 invaluable treasures, the Tower Pearl, Star Map, and Showu Wing, respectively. However, I've never shown them in front of the Master, and the powerful creatures shouldn't be able to recognize them unless I wield their powers. Does he suspect it simply because I'm so fast? This Master of Sky Wolf is perceptive, indeed. The invaluable treasure can only trick the knights. Luo Feng recalled how Put and Teacher Mountain Sitting Guest were able to see his real identity as a Sector Lord. The invaluable treasure wasn't as effective at concealing the aura. The Primal Chaos City Leader said, an ordinary invaluable treasure is nothing, and of course I'll give it to the juniors of my race who have great potential. This is how the supreme beings are made. Do you know why we of the human race have less undying than the demon race, yet we have more supreme undying? It is because we're willing to give while you are not. Will you, as Master of Sky Wolf, be willing to give this little one an invaluable treasure? Saibo Wa was thrilled. An invaluable treasure. Could it really get an invaluable treasure? It couldn't help glancing at the Master, but then it looked down instantly. The invaluable treasure could only be rewarded by the Master, and Saibo Wa, could never ask for it directly. Everyone knows you humans prospered, because of the virtual universe, Master of Sky Wolf roared. And it's not your business to tell me how to train my descendants. I'm done talking to you now. He finished and brought Saibo Wa into the palace. The primal chaos city leader burst into laughter, which permeated the Thousand Treasure River, and made the Sky Wolf Palace tremble. Master of Sky Wolf growled and flew away, entering the dark universe after hitting light speed. Apparently, within the power range of the river, Master of Sky Wolf couldn't teleport himself even with the palace. This Sky Wolf is still so reckless. The primal chaos city leader shook his head and looked to the two knights. Thank you for taking care of my student for the past 2,000 years, he said. Then he vanished together with Luo Feng and the river. Thank us, the Blue Knight said, a bit dazed. I heard that the primal chaos city leader was belligerent, but now he thanks us. Why is he so good-tempered? Good-tempered? The Purple Knight sneered. You only say that because you've never seen how the primal chaos city leader slaughtered before. The master dared to speak only because he was innately reckless, but did you realize he fled after only saying a few words? Among the 5 forces of the human race, the Virtual Universe Company is as powerful as the Battle Axe Colosseum. Do you really think the primal chaos city leader can control the entire virtual universe by being good-tempered? How can his original be famous for slaughtering if he's good-tempered? The Blue Knight blinked. Be careful, the Purple Knight said. The most powerful of the 6 peak races were all ruthless, and they can destroy us in the blink of an eye if necessary. I get it. The Blue Knight nodded. Inside the primal secret region. After 1 God country transport and a million light-year teleportation, the primal chaos city leader arrived at one of the many secret regions of the human race, the primal secret region. The primal chaos city leader jumped up with the 1,000 treasure shirt and turned into a boundless river, surrounding the stars and the palaces. The river, Luo Feng said. He looked at the stars and couldn't see the end of the river. The 1,000 treasure river can transform into everything, and this river is its original look. The primal chaos city leader pointed at it. Luo Feng, the reason that I could intimidate the master is this river. And an invaluable treasure like this is the cornerstone of our race. You are a man with luck. Perhaps you will be able to get an invaluable treasure like this in the future. I'll try my best, Luo Feng answered. This video will end here.